Hello everyone, this is Kaizouwar here, and I have been playing some Xenoblade Chronicles 2 as of late. I'm really enjoying this game. This is my very first introduction to the Xenoblade Chronicles series, because I haven't played Xenoblade Chronicles 1. But for the Xeno series, I have played Xenogears, and I am familiar with all 3 episodes of Xenosaga as I've played those in the past, so I am familiar with Tetsuya Takahashi's work. But I haven't got a hold of Xenoblade Chronicles yet, and I'll have to do so through the Definitive Edition someday. But for now, I'm playing 2, and I'm loving it. Really loving it. The music's great, the game looks great. I'm enjoying the characters so far from what little I've seen of them. Honestly, I am loving this game. It's a game hard to get into, you know? Like, it's hard for me to get into this game at first, because the combat felt a little bit slow to me at first, but after looking at some online tutorials, and, you know, them trying to teach you how to learn, how to play some stuff, it actually got a lot better, and as I start to learn things. Honestly, this game has very bad tutorials, because they put the tutorials at the most inconvenient times, and they don't really teach you much, and what they do teach you is probably too late by the time you learn it. Because I did learn a lot more things about the online tutorials that like should have seemed to be very early things that you should have learned, but the game's actual tutorials didn't teach you that until way in. And I was like, oh, that sucks. I didn't like the tutorials of this game. And honestly, I've seen this game had quite a few updates before. I'm like, wow, that sucks. They should have updated the tutorials. But yeah, I'm loving this game, like really loving it so far. I'm only 13 hours in, and I definitely want to see it to the end. Like honestly, this game actually got me like honestly seeing the trailer for Xenoblade Chronicles 3 got me hyped to play this game, which is crazy because like I don't know anything about Xenoblade Chronicles. I kind of just when Xenoblade Chronicles 1 was out, I never ever had a chance to get a hold of it because Xenoblade Chronicles 1 for like the Wii way back was like a game you could never get a hold of. It was like one of those like super rare JRPGs, you know? And they ported it to the 3DS, but they only ported it to the new 3DS, and I only had a base model 3DS, so yeah. But it's impressive they were able to put a whole open world game on to the 3DS. I think that's actually very impressive. Monolith Soft is just cranking out madness, I swear to God. They know they really know the hardware they're working with, which is actually pretty good. That shows like they're a company really focused on getting games out like that, and they know the stuff they're working with. They know the infrastructure of the consoles they're working with, and I think that's pretty cool. But for now, I'm playing Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and I'm actually enjoying. I like the characters so far. Like I haven't gotten to meet any other new characters yet. I did meet some antagonists or some adversaries so far, like Morag and Brighild. But I haven't met any more characters outside of that just yet. But I do have 3 party members, that being Rex, Tora, and Nia. And I'm actually enjoying all 3 of them. A lot of people told me that I wouldn't be a fan of Rex too much because he seems to be a very mixed character in the whole Xenoblade Chronicles scene. As far as I've seen, I'm sorry, I don't know. I don't know anyone who like personally told me if they don't like Rex or not, and I kind of don't want to start that whole discussion, but so far he seems fine to me. His voice is something to get used to, because it feels like it just does not match the character. Like I look at the character's face and I just don't feel the voice coming from him, but he was really off to me at first, and it was like a kind of like a shock, like, oh yeah, I forgot Xenoblade Chronicles it's not the voices I'm used to hearing in like certain English dub games. This is a different kind of English dub, if you know what I mean. So that it's hard to get used to that, but I think I've gotten used to it. I really dig characters like Nia so far. I mostly been just posting reaction faces of her on Instagram and Twitter, which is really funny. I'm digging Pyra. She's actually super cute, and I liked her personality. She's super nice, and she has a really nice voice actress to do. I actually learned her voice actress, Sky Bennett. She actually does a very good Pyra, and so I like her so far. And Rex, I'm getting used to him. He's not as bad, and there's some parts of the game I actually really enjoy his character because he's actually doing a lot of good shit. He's actually pretty cool to me so far, and I hope to know the rest of the cast when I get to him. But again, I don't want to know that until I actually get to that part of the game. But yeah, and exploring around is actually pretty fun. Like this game's really good looking for the Switch, and exploring is really fun. Granted, I'm going to levels. I'm going to like areas where the monsters are way too high level and I shouldn't be over there. Because I remember finding this cave. I was like, oh man, I found a cave. And I was like level 15. And I go into the cave, I'm like, oh crap, there's level 30 some odd enemies here. And I kept thinking, yeah, I could probably take, it's only one enemy, I could probably take it, and then he wipes my whole team. But I think that's a good thing about it. It's like, you can explore shit like that, and then you see, you know, enemies that you definitely should encounter, but like, it shows that you can come back later. So when you're ready, you're like, okay, now I'm ready to explore that game. I think I got enough levels. And I think that's a good way of, you know, showing exploration, you know? I'm still trying to get used to how to evade enemies, because there's a lot in the areas you're in. Enemies are like varied levels. Like I can go around. I'm like level. I think currently as of now I'm level 18 with Rex, and I think 18 with Rex, 18 with Tor, and 20 with Nia, right? And I have encountered about level 70 enemies so far. I was like, oh god. Like I get. Funny enough, the enemy detection is weird in this game, because I can be walking by them. This level 70 bird or something, and I'm like, okay, he's not gonna do anything to me. I don't want to, you know, trigger, you know, a battle with him. So I walk past him, and like, it's okay. But sometimes like he's walking my own business, and then this dude just comes out of nowhere. I was like, oh well, crap! And then he kills my team, and he pushes me way far back. And if Rex dies, the battle's over. Well, if Rex dies in the overworld, that's game over. Not really a game over, because it doesn't really knock you back to the title screen. It just pushes you further back than you were. And that kind of bums me out, because sometimes I gotta like make up a lot of time to go back to where I was. So at a point, I just start saving regularly, and if I get knocked back too far, I'll just reset my game and go back to where I was. I am not walking all the way back. But yeah, other than those setbacks, I'm actually really loving this game. I wasn't expecting the game to have a gacha mechanic in regards of trying to get more blades. And yeah, you get items called core crystals in varying rarities. Mostly you'll get common core crystals, which will summon common blades. Common blades aren't exactly the best, and there's a lot of them, but hell, you can release the common blades in order to get certain items, in order to boost other blades, or other blades you may get, like, you know, core crystals or whatnot. Well, that's a good thing. That's actually a really good thing. I mean, getting all those common core crystals aren't exactly good, because, you know, the rare blades are actually pretty valuable, and definitely, and once I learned that Cosmos, like I never pronounce her name right. When I learned that Cosmos from Xenosaga was actually one of the blades in Telos as well, I was like, you cannot be serious. You can't just put them in there, because I heard they're one of the way harder ones to get. Okay, I just remembered. They're called Cosmos and Telos. I've been saying their names wrong for years because I haven't played Xenosaga in forever. Cosmos, Telos. And now I gotta play the gacha game in order to kill them. Anything else I want to talk about? Oh yeah, this is minigame known as Tiger. Not the biggest fan of it, because honestly, not the game itself, but Tiger is like this minigame where you have to play in order to get core chips and enhancements for another blade you have that Tor wields, known as Poppy. I like Poppy, but I'm not a big fan of playing a minigame just to get the items for her, and I think that's the only way you're able to get enhancements for Poppy, as far as I'm aware, which kind of bums me out, but, you know, I can understand that, you know, it'll make her unique. And I heard she's one of the best party members in the game. So I kind of have to sell my soul to Tiger in order to improve her stats. And, you know, again, yeah, I like playing the game. The game's pretty fun, but, you know, doing it over and over again, trying to grind that little mini game out is not exactly my favorite. But, hell, I'll just see if it gets better as time goes on. Maybe I'll just get used to it after a while, because, you know, I just have to get used to it. There's no big deal about it. I just have to deal with it. But other than that, yeah, I'm really loving the game. Like, the characters are pretty cool so far. Love the designs. Rex is not my favorite design, but he's okay to me personally. But yeah, really enjoying Xenoblade Chronicles. I also hope to play Torna, the Golden Country someday. I've heard the battle theme for Torna, the Golden Country. It sounds so cool. Love that song. So hopefully I get to play that game someday. And it's nice to know that there's an expansion for Xenoblade Chronicles 2 so big that it counts as its own game. I think that's pretty cool. But yeah, without further ado, I'm just going to end this video now. I don't want to ramble on too far, because I still got, you know, the rest of the game to go through. I'm only, again, 13 hours in. So without further ado, I will see you all next time. Peace, everyone, and I hope everyone has a great day. You probably won't be seeing it from me for a little bit. I still got my other videos to make, but Xenoblade Chronicles 2 has been just consuming me right now. So yeah.